Well, forces loyal to the Libyan leader Colonel Gaddafi have halted the rebels' advance towards Tripoli, driving them back from the towns of Misrata and Bin Jawad. The retreat shows just how fragile rebel gains are without the cover of airstrikes. It's also prompted calls for coalition forces to arm the rebels, something which the US President Barack Obama has not ruled out. Middle East correspondent Ann Barker reports.
As the battle for Libya continues to fluctuate, the US President has not ruled out supplying arms to the rebels.
I think that it's fair to say that if we wanted to get weapons into Libya, we probably could. We're looking at all our options at this point.
But a spokeswoman for the rebels says it's not necessary for the coalition to overthrow Gaddafi.
To liberate our country, this is our duty. So we thank the United States and the coalition for what they are doing, and this just re-emphasize that from the beginning we didn't ask for the liberation. We will liberate our country.
Barack Obama says the international community will be ready to help if needed.
The first step is for Gaddafi to send a signal that he understands the Libyan people don't want him ruling anymore. That 40 years of tyranny is enough. Once he makes that decision, I think the international community will come together and make a determination as to what the most appropriate way of facilitating him stepping down will be.
But what happens then? After 6 weeks of turmoil, people are starting to look beyond the current conflict and thinking about who the opposition is, and it's not all good.
As you can imagine, we're examining very closely the content, composition, the personalities, who are the leaders in these opposition forces. The intelligence that I'm receiving at this point makes me feel that the leadership that I'm seeing are responsible men and women who are struggling against Colonel Gaddafi. We have seen flickers in the intelligence of potential al-Qaeda, Hezbollah. We've seen different things. But at this point, I don't have detail sufficient to say that there's a significant al-Qaeda presence or any other terrorist presence in and among these folks. We'll continue to look at that very closely.
On the ground, the rebels have lost some of the gains they've made over the last few days. Forces loyal to Colonel Gaddafi have launched fierce strikes on Misrata and Bin Jawad, driving the rebels back to Ras Lanuf. The rebels say the chaotic withdrawal was strategic.
Also, I would like to update you about the situation in the front line where their tactical withdrawal has taken place, and this is just to take our troops away out of the range of Colonel Gaddafi's militia and mercenaries troops.
But there's little evidence that this is tactical, and stopping Gaddafi's forces from moving on towards other rebel cities will be difficult. There are clear signs of fatigue among the rebel fighters. This has now been going on for more than a month, and some estimate up to 20,000 fighters and civilians have been killed. Ann Barker, Late Line.